Tom Cruise is not just an actor, he's a phenomenon. For decades, he has dominated Hollywood, starring in some of the biggest movies in cinema history. But what sets him apart from every other action star? He does the impossible. Literally. While other actors rely on stunt doubles for dangerous scenes, Tom Cruise puts his own life on the line to deliver the most thrilling experience possible for his audience. If you're amazed by Tom Cruise's fearless dedication, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more incredible stories like this. But here's the detail most people don't realize: he doesn't do this just for the love of filmmaking. He has turned extreme risk into a strategy to build a billion-dollar empire. And today we're going to reveal the moments when Tom Cruise almost lost his life, the insane stunts that defied death, and the secret that made him one of the richest actors of all time. Stay until the end, because this story will completely change the way you see cinema and the hidden world of Hollywood's big money. Now, let's go back to the beginning to understand how Tom Cruise became one of the most influential actors in the world, and why he decided that risking his own life was the best path to building a fortune. Tom Cruise didn't follow the traditional Hollywood playbook. From the very start of his career, he made decisions that seemed risky, but ultimately turned his name into an untouchable billion-dollar brand. While other actors chased huge studio contracts and played it safe by signing onto predictable franchises, Tom Cruise did something completely different. He refused to follow the industry's rules. In the 1980s and 90s, Tom Cruise was already a movie star. Films like Top Gun, Jerry Maguire, and Magnolia made him one of the highest-paid actors in the world. But for many, his career could have followed the same path as other stars of that era. What made Tom Cruise stand out wasn't just his talent, it was his obsession with total control over his career. Tom Cruise realized something that very few actors ever understood. Real power in Hollywood doesn't come from just acting, but from owning your own destiny. By the 2000s, while most movie stars completely relied on major studios to shape their careers, Tom Cruise started doing something completely different. He didn't just want to be an actor, he wanted full control over the movies he made. That's when he made a career-defining decision. He bought the rights to the Mission Impossible franchise and became the producer of his own films. This might seem like a normal move today, but at the time, it was an extremely risky decision. In Hollywood, major studios have always held total control over blockbuster films. But Tom Cruise decided he didn't want to just be an employee, he wanted to run the game. By owning the Mission Impossible franchise, he completely changed the rules. Now, he wasn't just an actor collecting a paycheck, he was taking a massive percentage of the movie's total profits. If a Mission Impossible film made billions of dollars, a huge chunk of that money went straight into his pocket. But there was a problem. To guarantee that his franchise became an absolute success, he had to do something no one else was willing to do. And that's when he came up with the boldest strategy in movie history. Tom Cruise decided that to make his movies unstoppable, he would do all his own stunts, no doubles. This went against every rule in the industry. Normally, action stars don't perform their own dangerous stunts because studios want to protect them and avoid insurance nightmares. But Tom Cruise realized that if he did it himself, his name would become bigger than anyone else's in Hollywood. He didn't just want to be a famous actor. He wanted his name to be synonymous with adrenaline, action, and authenticity. And that's how he began building his legend. From that moment on, he committed to performing stunts that no other actor would even dare to attempt. In the next section, we'll reveal the insane stunts Tom Cruise pulled off to turn his movies into cinematic events, and how he nearly lost his life multiple times in the process. Keep watching, because this story only gets crazier. When Tom Cruise decided to do all his own action scenes, he wasn't just taking risks, he was redefining what it meant to be an action star in Hollywood. Most action movie stars use stunt doubles for any dangerous scene. Even the biggest names in Hollywood avoid unnecessary risks because any accident could jeopardize their careers and the studio's massive investments. But Tom Cruise decided he wanted to be different. If he wanted to make sure that his Mission Impossible franchise became a global phenomenon, he needed to give the audience something no one else was offering. And that's how some of the most insane stunts in movie history began. Hanging off the side of a moving airplane. In Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation. Tom Cruise pulled off one of the most dangerous stunts ever filmed. He didn't just pilot a plane, he hung onto the outside of it while it took off. Yes, without a stunt double. Producers suggested using a green screen and special effects to safely recreate the scene. But Tom Cruise refused. He wanted the audience to know it was real. So, he hung onto the outside of an Airbus A400M at over 1,500 meters in the air while the plane was flying at full speed. To make sure he didn't die in the process, he wore special contact lenses to prevent the intense wind from blinding his eyes. But the danger was very real. If anything went wrong, he could have fallen to his death instantly. And this was just one of many times he defied death. Jumping off a cliff on a motorcycle, with no safety net. In Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, Tom Cruise performed the biggest stunt ever done in movie history. He drove a motorcycle at full speed toward the edge of a cliff and launched himself into the void, free-falling before deploying a parachute. This wasn't just any stunt. He trained for years to prepare for this moment, completing over 500 parachute jumps and 13,000 motorcycle jumps to make sure everything went perfectly. But even with all the training, the risk was extreme. Any mistake could have been fatal. Breaking his ankle, and finishing the scene anyway. During the filming of Mission Impossible: Fallout, Tom Cruise attempted a high-speed chase scene where he had to jump from one building to another. But something went wrong. His foot slammed into the edge of the building and he broke his ankle. Any other actor would have stopped the scene immediately. But Tom Cruise kept running, even with a fractured leg, to make sure the take could still be used in the final film. The production had to pause filming for months until he recovered, but the scene remained in the final cut. Learning to fly fighter jets for Top Gun: Maverick. Tom Cruise knew that Top Gun: Maverick had to surpass the original movie. But how could he do that? He decided that just acting like a pilot wasn't enough. He wanted to actually fly the jets. So, he underwent intense military training and learned how to control real fighter jets. All the flight scenes in the movie were filmed with the actors inside real fighter jets, enduring brutal G-forces. The realism was so impressive that Top Gun: Maverick became the highest-grossing film of Tom Cruise's career, earning nearly $1.5 billion at the box office. But now comes the most interesting part. Tom Cruise wasn't just risking his life for fun or adrenaline. He had a secret plan to turn these risks into a billion-dollar strategy. In the next section, we'll reveal how he used this formula to become one of the richest actors in movie history, and why his fortune keeps growing at an unbelievable rate. Tom Cruise wasn't just risking his life, he had a billion-dollar plan. Tom Cruise didn't just put his life on the line to create some of the craziest stunts in movie history, he did it with a clear purpose: to build a billion-dollar empire and ensure he would never have to depend on Hollywood studios again. Most action stars simply sign contracts with studios and receive a fixed paycheck for starring in their films. But Tom Cruise realized something that would completely change his financial destiny. If he had control over the movies he starred in, he could turn each project into his own personal goldmine. That's why he made an incredibly bold move. Instead of just acting, he started producing and financing his own movies. This meant that instead of earning just a fixed salary, he would take a massive cut of the film's total profits. If one of his films made billions at the box office, a huge percentage of that money would go straight into his pocket. And that's exactly what happened with the Mission Impossible franchise. In the early films of the saga, Tom Cruise was already a huge star, but the studio still had full control over production. When he saw the franchise's massive potential, he bought the rights to the series and became the owner of the brand. This meant that instead of earning just 20 or 30 million per film, he started making hundreds of millions, since he was now one of the main beneficiaries of box office success and distribution rights. But that wasn't all. He knew that to keep this success going, he had to turn his movies into unique events, something no one else could replicate. And that's when he came up with the ultimate strategy: he decided to risk his own life to attract more audiences. Every time he pulled off an insane stunt without a double, the media and the public became obsessed with the film. Word of mouth grew, hype skyrocketed, and box office numbers exploded. The proof is in the numbers. Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol grossed $694 million. Mission Impossible: fallout surpassed $791 million. Top Gun: Maverick shattered records, reaching $1.5 billion, becoming the most profitable movie of Tom Cruise's career. And here's the most impressive part: he doesn't just earn a fixed paycheck. Thanks to the deals he made as a producer and part owner of the movie rights, he took home over $100 million from Top Gun: Maverick alone. Now the question everyone is asking is, what's next for Tom Cruise? He has already jumped out of planes, climbed skyscrapers, flown fighter jets, and broken bones to entertain audiences. But can he go even further? In the next section we'll reveal Tom Cruise's future projects, including his ambitions for space and his NASA partnership to shoot a movie literally outside planet Earth. Tom Cruise is about to go where no actor has gone before. Tom Cruise has built a career on extreme challenges, but now he's about to push beyond anything he has ever done before. If in recent years he has climbed buildings, jumped out of planes, and flown fighter jets, his next big move could change the history of cinema forever. Yes, Tom Cruise is preparing to film the first ever movie shot in space. And this isn't just a rumor. Since 2020, he has been working on an ambitious project alongside NASA and Elon Musk's SpaceX to film part of a feature film on the International Space Station. The idea came because, after performing some of the most jaw-dropping stunts in movie history, what else was left for him to do on Earth? The only place he hasn't set foot yet is outer space. And that's exactly what he wants to change. How will the first movie filmed in space work? Unlike traditional sci-fi movies that rely on special effects and studio-built sets, Tom Cruise wants to film real scenes outside Earth. The project, which is still in development, has an estimated budget of $200 million and will feature a small crew sent to the International Space Station. The idea is for Tom Cruise to play an astronaut who must complete a dangerous mission in space. And knowing his track record, he won't accept using tricks or stunt doubles. He actually wants to experience zero gravity. To make the film a reality, Tom Cruise has already undergone specialized training and is preparing to face the extreme physical challenges of space travel. The project is being led by Doug Liman, director of Edge of Tomorrow, and has direct support from NASA, which aims to promote space exploration through cinema. If this movie actually happens, Tom Cruise will become the first actor in history to film a feature-length movie in space, something no other Hollywood star has ever even considered. Can Tom Cruise go even further? After decades of reinventing himself, Tom Cruise continues to prove that he has no limits. While most actors start to fade after turning 50, he remains more active, bolder, and more influential than ever. With a fortune estimated at $600 million, he has solidified himself as one of the highest paid and smartest actors in movie history. But his strategy isn't just about money. He wants to leave a legacy. And if anyone can break all the rules in the industry, it's Tom Cruise. Now the question remains, what else is he capable of? If he has already risked his life in countless insane stunts, flown fighter jets, and now plans to go to space, could he push even further in the future? If there's one actor who can shock the world again, it's Tom Cruise. And the lesson we can take from his story is crystal clear. The greatest in the world don't follow the rules. They create their own. Just like Tom Cruise understood the game and turned his passion into a billion-dollar empire, there are strategies that can help anyone shift their mindset toward success and wealth. If you want to understand how great minds think and how to use this mindset to transform your life, click the link in the pinned comment and discover a method that could completely change how you see success. And before you go, don't miss the next video on your screen. It has an incredible story you won't want to miss.